Good day, folks. I'm sorry it's been a while since my last video update. I've been pretty busy with some Floyd Suite replications and whatnot, and I'm still busy trying to assimilate all that. So more to come on that later. But for now, on the side project, I'm still, believe it or not, interested in some of the early Don Smith concepts. And I think it's really funny. When I think I'm all done with it, I find something else, right? So basically, the circuit keeps changing all the time. And it's the ironic joke, right? So, anyways, right now I'm still experimenting and I've got all the components, but it seems like the way I'm running it is in complete different order than what Don Smith was showing everyone here. So, what's nice about all this is at this point I got it running exactly the analog 60 hertz, and I'm able to run my 60 hertz stuff. So a little bit more on this. So I'm just testing something digital because I'm using a lot of noise here with the high frequency. So to make sure the filtering over here works. So essentially I'm going to have to bring up a circuit as I talk here. But here it is, the inverter that starts it, which runs off the battery over here. And I got the variac here. And Don Smith makes a big story about this. But honestly, after playing with this, like the previous circuit works, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're looking for a tickle charger that eventually with the electrostatic displacement charges your battery after you triggered it, that's fine, great. But for running like enterprise class loads on demand, that was obviously not it, right? So moving on, trying to connect it to a better working live mode, I was just looking at the previous and every other circuit that I've seen published on Don Smith here. And here's the big cap charging essentially. I'll show you the circuits here, but here's the neon transformer, a pretty heavy duty, quote unquote, high power version of one here, analog. And it charges my big capacitor here. So you've got high voltage here, which is variable with the variac, because I got it right in the input side here, so you can bring it up and down here. And this essentially charges this capacitor here. And we have a spark gap here. I don't know if you see it, but it's a tube spark gap, discharge tube, gas discharge. And this is a little one here. So here was the logic. I had a 1000 volt spark gap here. And at this rating and these big capacitors, essentially, if you ever try this, you get 2 or 3 fires because this is just not enough power for like anything in the UF range to have like 60 or 100 or even in the K range discharges. And it's that cap dump that gives you that high rate of change, that sharp spike that you need, right? So it's pointless discharging tiny NF range capacitors. So you need a little bit of oomph, that amp to second discharge is what you want to rack up here. So in all the Don Smith circuits, here it is, like going through the inside of there, which is the primary quote-unquote air core. You'll see it inside there. It's only like 4 or 5 turns in the middle. It's a low impedance path. And essentially in all the circuits, you cap dump that right into the coil, and it makes the essentially high frequency secondary sides hair ring, and you have your tuning capacitor over here, which helps. By the way, I saw it on the scope with the ringing and all of that. And as the circuits go on, you tap into this, but I didn't do that because I found the error, one error anyways, which was this side here is to modulate the input. So the DC input, like on the circuit, comes through here and then goes into the inverter input, but we have to first choke it because it's going to modulate with especially the high frequency noise. So the HF choke here. But on the other side, I have another high frequency diode that directs that, kind of like an AV plug. So the RF goes back into the battery. So because the spark gap generates the really high frequencies. And by the way, I did another experiment here. You can do this as well. Put a capacitor here and you can watch how high voltage you're actually getting the RF that's going back into the battery. Very measurable, very snappy. So the RF component going back into the battery is very real. But I want more than that, right? I want to run the load. I want to really run shit. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But anyways, that's when it occurred to me. Why are we all cap dumping we're basically wasting it into a low impedance pad, and people all have struggle running it, you know, like the resonance point that builds up here. You're trying to tap the dipole, you collapse the dipole, like Tom Burton says, don't collapse the dipole. You got something sweet going on here. Let's not disturb that. So it occurred to me, all right, so let's add something else here, because Don Smith always has his transducers, which is nothing more really what he shows, much more complicated than a regular transformer. Let me show you if I can find it here, because I'm looking for it right here. Like a big one like this. So your output essentially is limited to your transformer and your capacitor dump capability. So, but everyone tries to run all this stuff off the resonance side, and that never works, and that shouldn't work. So trying to work past that and not trying to replicate everything everyone else did and failed. So I'm looking at one last thing I didn't do, and it's like, okay, so since we're wasting this in the cap dump, we're wasting the cap dump, and the way the cap dump works here, if you look carefully, is as soon as this goes up to 100 volts because of this, snap back into itself, okay, through the low impedance path, snap, snap, snap. You're sorting it on itself anyways, like you're discharging, you're literally discharging and setting it up for a new charge as fast as you can with the spark gap. Now more on that later, because this is just a small 100 volt spark gap, I'm able to get much faster dumps and very high frequencies now. So I'm able to get 60 hertz or whatever it is the load needs. And that's what Don Smith, I think, wasn't being forthcoming with. This here is nothing to do with blowing up parts. It's literally the simplest way. You start at the low side and you bring it up, and you have your... What I did is I decided to, instead of just dumping it into the primary, in series I put this would be the equivalent of my Don Smith transducer, which is just the power supply for this Alexa here. I wanted to see if I could actually run an analog load. Well, this is digital, but the analog starts here without the interference, and guess what? It actually works. So in this case, this is the transducer, but it's not plugged in down here. It's on the actual primary side loop with the cap dump. So now the cap dump is actually doing two things. It's pumping this area, you're modulating the incoming, so you're creating a massive pressure wave from that cap dump into the incoming. So a big part of that swashes into the battery. You're creating the high frequency transients that's coming back. So you're really delaying that discharge with all these systems, and you're getting the cap dump effect, which literally triggers at the right frequency, which is literally dialing it in slowly until the load literally starts running. You'll hear it snapping at 60 hertz because the cap dump is providing it at 60 hertz, tuned literally to whatever the load is. So I will show you how simple and stupid it can be. My apologies for the mess. But I will turn this on now. So I have the battery over here. So we're going to plug this one in here. All right. So now I've got the tap here for my inverter, which is a tiny inverter here, which I want to purposely not use a lot of current, right? So I want this to drive my whole thing. And fun fact, so far it hardly gets warm. So that's my... Bear with me. Okay, so now we're connected down here through the choke. So I'm going to start real low. I'm going to turn the variac on here. Just going to feed this, and we're going to start dumping. And you'll see the ringing on the scope. Lots of high frequency energizing that battery. So there it is. Look at the beautiful ringing. And we're going to bring this up here. We're just doing one cap dump a second, so it's not very much. You can hear it clack, 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 right? You see it? I'm literally tuning it. This is what Don Smith did. Slowly tuning it until this literally cap dumps whatever your cap is at 60 hertz through your primary, which is a regular AC transformer, whatever, right? Running your load. So as I speak, I'm going to keep bringing it up, and you'll see something almost magical happen here. So now we're at about 25 volts. We're at 40 here. You're really hearing that snapping. I'm keeping it, bringing it up. We are now, look at this. Aha. Boom, there it is at about 45, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to bring this up, way up, really slow, and I observe my load here. So we're booting up. All right. We've got a nice solid ringing of high frequency. Seems to be working to me. This is great because it shows that we're isolating the high frequencies. We really see them. They're pretty nasty with this. And you have to remember, folks, even though this is just firing at 100 volts here, we're still smashing it with kilovolts, which is going through this, being modulated by this cap dump here. So there's a lot of pressure going on in all of this, which is basically modulating the battery here. So we're just watching to see if this is actually going to boot up here. I want to show you folks this. Takes always a moment, these things are, and I've got like the slow, like first early version. Usually takes a moment. There we go. 9, that's the right time. So I'm gonna give it more moment to load. But this is it, right? But we're limited by this little tiny transformer that I'm cap dumping through, but you get the idea. Put one of these on here, bring the capacitor value up a little bit, sacrifice a little bit more current on the input, adjust for your speed so your load sees it. So this baloney that Don Smith was saying, yes, he's right in LCR circuits, I get it, but for this specific application, this is what his variac was for, was just to, there it is, we're tuned, or we're dumping at the right frequency. Our load is happy here. You see that? And over here is the inverter. I'm touching this and it's cold. Cold. It's hardly working. And it's running all of this stuff. It's doing all of this. It's charging the battery. It's running our load analog through the spark gap discharging here. So let's give it a test. Alexa, what is 1 plus 1?
1 plus 1 equals 2. In binary, 1 plus 1 equals 1, 0. Good news. Free early access to Alexa Plus is now available to you. Experience the all-new, smarter, more useful Alexa. Would you like to upgrade now?
No. So here it is. So this is essentially what I believe Don Smith was doing, running his loads longer than they should, but everyone was trying to tap it through here. But that's not what this function does at all. But just showing you the coils without the wiring set up, people just assume, oh, he's tapping off of this. No, his transducer is as simple as this stage over here until you get the right click, but you're still going to be thousands of volts, which is going to trigger the high frequency transients through all of this as well, right? And you know, very, it's not even triggering the built-in fan on here to kick in because it's running too hot. You know, it's crazy. It's very little usage. And this thing is working perfectly. And in previous experiments, I was having problems with the spark gap getting really hot and smelling weird right away. None of that. Everything's running nice and cool in this mode here. Because we're utilizing the energy with very good efficiency right now. We're recycling almost every layer of it. And remember, this is not running through the inverter, it's the cap dump going through here, passing through this primary here, through this capacitor. So we're shorting this one way or another. So essentially what I'm getting at is, this is where the input doesn't care what the load is, because whether we've got the load here or not, this cap dump here is happening and shorting out through this coil. So we may as well use it, right? So that's why that the input doesn't feel any more of a stress whether or not I turn this on or off over here. So this is where it becomes advantageous. This is what Don Smith was doing. But he gave us completely the wrong wiring and gave us a completely different impression of what he was actually doing with everything. So it's that simple. So thank you for watching, and this is really beautiful ringing. So just, yeah, I should maybe turn off this variac here and you'll instantly see this. Just to show you, you see the spark gap is colored because it's going really, really fast now and it's just like zzz. Oh, we'll turn it off, you'll hear the click. Poof, nothing. All coming from here. Until next time, folks.